Hi, I'm so excited to talk about our newest #1 international best-selling book, Never Give Up: Stories of Perseverance. My name is Linda Sunshine West. I'm the founder and CEO of Action Takers Publishing. This book is absolutely incredible. We bring some great authors into it to share their messages of never giving up, having that perseverance. You can get your copy at actiontakerspublishing.com/never. While you're over there, go check it out. There are also a lot of free gifts from the authors. Again, go to actiontakerspublishing.com/never. And I'm excited to bring up to you our guest today, which is Virpi Tervonen. Hello, Virpi. Great to see you tonight.
Hello, Linda. Great to be here.
Oh my gosh, I love this book because really, never giving up. This is something that I used to be a quitter. I was a quitter. Actually, in my chapter, I said, I am a quitter. I put it in big, bold letters because I've quit a lot of things in my life. And Virpi, I'd like to know, like, are you the type of person that you've always had that perseverance to keep going after what you want, never giving up, having that perseverance? Or are you a person that used to be a quitter and you turned into a person who never gives up? So give me the dish.
Well, let's say that being a quitter is quite a strong label there, and there's a lot of negative association to it. But yes, I kind of like started to feel that I'm a drifter because I did a lot of changes, quite drastic and dramatic changes in my life, and I can't quit a lot of things that I had put a lot of effort in. I was, becoming an expert in something, and then I basically just looked like I left it all and started something new. So I have been a quitter with a lot of things. However, I don't see it as a quitting things. It was letting go of a huge chunk of your life. And you probably have also heard a lot about 10 times, 10 times do something in your life. And you cannot do 10 times if you don't let go of like 80% of your life. So it sounds like we have both been we have had similar type of experiences in our life, and that it looks like we're quitting things, even if it's basically that we're just letting go so much it looks like quitting.
And I love that you said that because that's how, like, for my chapter, that's what it is really about, is that, we have to quit in order to move on. If we hold on to things and we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, we're not going to get the results that we're looking for. So I actually see quitting as a good thing, especially if you quit early enough, because sometimes people will hold on to things for years, weeks, months, years, decades, and then they wish they had quit, given up on whatever that was. And so your story, the chapter in the book is called Whatever Tomorrow Brings, You'll Be There. You'll be there. Like the Jackson 5, Okay. So what is your chapter all about? Whatever tomorrow brings, you'll be there.
Well, the title came from my experience. Like I was thinking of my story, and I'm not the only one who has had quite adverse life and rough patches in life. And I wanted to choose something encouraging for myself and also for the readers, is about even if there is a rough patch and it has been maybe prolonged to one, and it feels like you have these thoughts that, when does this end? It still I wanted to encourage that there will be tomorrow and you'll be there. So even if you are not figuring everything out today, so you can still have tomorrow. Also is that when you are a little bit feeling maybe weak or uncertain about letting a lot go in your life, you still have a tomorrow that's when you get the new things in your life, so that inspire you and you can start building from there.
That's interesting because when we look at it from that perspective, is I just had a recent experience where I was not doing very well one day recently. And I even posted it on Facebook and shared it, which I wasn't going to, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go and share what's going on with me. And what kept me okay was I kept saying, tomorrow's going to be different. Tomorrow's going to be different. It's going to be better. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. And I just kept reminding myself that it's like not about what's happening. We do need to live in the moment. I believe in that, of course. But sometimes we need to look into the future to realize that things are going to shift and going to change, right?
And we can be very intentional with the shift. And the thing is that what we're experiencing today, which is the present, is actually the echoes of yesterday. So when we think that, well, there will be tomorrow, I'll be there. The thing is that because your tomorrow starts today, you can make that little thing today and you can start gaining from that tomorrow. Even sometimes, well, we spoke earlier about the bamboo roots. Sometimes the tomorrows are like bamboo roots. What you do today, you don't see the sprout tomorrow, but you know that you're building the roots and then it actually shoots up very quickly.
I love how you said tomorrow begins today. That's kind of like one of those twisters in your head that's like spinning around and like, I get it, but I don't get it, kind of thing. But that's so true, right? Because I'm creating tomorrow right now.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Oh, it's fascinating. Fascinating. Well, why don't you share with our viewers, like, what is it that you do? And because we went right into the book, but what is it that you do? Tell everybody, like what you're doing now and how are you creating your tomorrow today? Yeah.
Well, I'm expecting that you're asking what I do professionally. So that's the easiest
Yes.
way always to say.
Yes.
Right. So I am an executive coach to entrepreneurs, and I mostly work with founders, CEOs, so that they are people who establish their business and they are still leading it, to the future today and towards the future. And what I mostly coach them about is to optimizing both their performance and well-being, because it's not just about creating the numbers and sales. It's about what type of life you want to live and what type of quality of life you want to experience today and tomorrow for yourself and for your family and people around you. So this is what I do as a coach.
How did you get into that line of work?
That was an evolution. And well, when we think of our childhood, there are some personality traits that we enjoyed doing as a child. And I was very adventurous and I was very curious about things. And that is something that I can implement today. So the evolution to coach, I didn't start to, become a coach just because it felt like a great profession to work from home. I actually had other two companies before I was requested coaching services by one of my clients, and that triggered that experience, her success, my own very satisfying experience led to that, let's say, revelation for me that this is my playground. This is where I can make the biggest positive impact, and it feels very natural to me.
I wanted to talk about that because you said feels very natural to me. And so how did you know that? What does feeling natural feel like?
Feeling natural means that you realize that it is so natural to you, it feels almost like play. So it doesn't mean that you don't take effort. If you think yourself on a playground, you run around, you swear, it's effort, right? But it's fun. It's natural. You don't need to think of, oh, I have to do that. It's like, I want to do that. I choose to go to that, thing to do that fun thing on the playground. So that is what I mean. And also the thing is, feeling natural is that you see that others might struggle. A lot of other people, considerably more people, would struggle with the things that are very easy for you, and they actually start coming to you to do that. And like I earlier mentioned, is that from the childhood and youth and through all the roles that I were in my different periods of life, I've ended to become someone who kind of guides or advises, or, I'll be teaching as well. I'm always that person. So it is very natural. I see that through all the things that I've done whether it's for a profession or for a job or even for hobby, I end up into that type of role. So that means that it's natural. It kind of like reoccurring theme in my life through all the roles or all the periods of my life.
Interesting that you say that, because for me, what I'm doing now, you're doing the book publishing, for the first time in my life, feels natural. For the first
Have
time
found your
in
playground.
Yeah, I found my playground. It took me 58 years to find it, but I kept searching for it. I was never giving up. I never give up. I wanted to find that playground. And it's so natural for me. Like everything, it just falls into place. Not to say that we don't ever make a mistake or anything, but everything is just like lined up perfectly. And I don't feel stress very often, which is a good thing, because I used to feel stress all the time when I worked in the corporate world. It was constant. Yeah. Well, I would love to talk about your business, real relevant results. And first of all, I would love for you to tell us, like, how did you come up with that title for your business, and what kind of results are you referring to here?
Thank you. That's a very good question. I'd love to actually reflect it more. So relevant. Well, when I started coaching, it was very much outcome oriented, and it still is. My clients, they want to create certain very specific outcomes in their life. They are longer term outcomes. However, they are very clear what they want. They are very clear what they don't want anymore. So they are also clear what do they want instead. So that's hence the results. And the real and relevant came from the fact that I also have been coached. I've been studying a lot of things. And I always had this thing that I didn't feel that some things were relevant, or even some results. You can get results, but are they relevant? And I do have a very strong background in scientific research, where you kind of like get a lot of feedback. So we can also call them results. But sometimes they are not relevant. And in life as well, there are things that, depending on what it is that you are moving towards to, some results are less relevant than others. So that's why the relevant was important to put into the name of my business. And the last one is real, is that we actually measure a lot of things. Like I said, I'm a scientist in a background. For me to be able to quantify what are we actually doing, are they real? Is it just that we are hyping up so that it's like we are feeling better today, and it kind of like it goes past very quickly. So real mean that it's measurable, it's quite tangible, it expresses in some way. And when I say tangible, is also that you're feeling better, you're less stressed. It is you feeling happier, you feeling like anti-fragile, so that you have more resilience. That is something that you can actually see how it expresses through your life and your business. So hence it becomes the real relevant result. So those are three very important words for me personally, and I wanted to put them into the name of my business.
I love that, because that question I wrote down, to ask myself this question: these results, are they relevant? And is that relevancy to the results that I want, like the ultimate results that I want? Is that, how do you judge if a result is relevant? Because relevant relative to what?
So to judge, or actually to discern whether this result is relevant, is depending on your direction. What is your vision? And like if you were, if you don't know where you're heading, all paths take you right there. Also, if you don't know what you're creating, all results can be relevant. But if you have clear vision, you have direction, so then you can always use that as a reference point. Is this result relevant enough to actually pursue more of it?
You could even break that down to great example. Today, I attended a networking event. I could look at that after the fact and I could say, was that relevant? So just to evaluate to see if that's something I would want to do in the future, like attending that networking event, or going into it, saying, asking, is this relevant? Is this going to be relevant to the results that I'm looking for? To know when to say yes and when to say no, right? So often we're faced with that, people asking us or inviting us to things, and it's great that we're being invited, but are the actions that we're going to take, are they going to be relevant? So I love this, real relevant results. That's what you're looking for. So if you want to connect with Virpi, go to, oops, that's the wrong one. Go to realrelevantresults.com. Go check her out, connect with her. And Virpi, I want to thank you so much for being part of this book and being part of this journey with us. We are talking about the book, Never Give Up. Oops, wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Never Give Up, Stories of Perseverance. You can get your copy of the book. Plus, there are a lot of free gifts over there from our authors. Go to actiontakerspublishing.com/never. And Virpi, why don't you share with us, like, what is one thing that you would like the readers to take away from reading this book?
One thing that I'd like readers to take from this book is not to be too scared about being labeled a quitter, or like labeling the failures. And oftentimes when we are going through them, we kind of like feel the experience is filling everything in our life, and it is very important to keep moving on. And it's not always that we need to do the actions that move ours forward. It is oftentimes also just trusting that things are moving forward, even if you're not actively doing something every single day, because rest and regaining your energy is as important as the active doing. That is what builds your resilience, the rest and the doing in a balanced way, performance and well-being optimized.
And we were talking about that before we got started here today as well. And so that is so important. Like, she was letting me know that I got to remember to rest, and that's something I have to be consciously aware of, because it's been my habit for decades to not rest. And so adopting new habits, new ways of being, new ways of showing up, so that I can show up in my optimum, right? My optimum, who I am. And so I can perform the best for myself and my clients and my family. And so doing that rest, thank you so much. That's so good. And when I go to Alaska, I will be resting. I promise, Virpi, and I promise myself. Thank you for being
here.
Thank you so much for being part of this book, for sharing your message and your story. Truly appreciate you, everything you do. You go over there and get your copy of this book, actiontakerspublishing.com/never. And Virpi, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you, Linda.
One of the things that I've personally found from my experience of working with Action Takers Publishing is that I've walked away with more friends than I had before, because of the relationship that you build with the authors while working in an anthology. I think it's an amazing project to be able to get published. It's a fantastic way to get published the first time, and I've almost seen people who get hooked on doing anthologies, because once that bug is bitten, you feel like you can release more and more and more and more stories. And Linda's got a bunch of titles that I think resonates with a lot of us who live in the real world.